conduct business will be asked to come to the microphone, provide their name and address, present their requests or concerns, and answer any questions of the Planning Commission. Groups are requested to select a spokesperson to express the group's concern. Because each side will be allowed 10 minutes to speak. Plats, rezoning, revised master plans, and street namings require a public hearing, after which the Planning Commission will deliberate and render its decision. Planning Commission members with a personal or financial interest in any petitioner's request are required to recuse themselves. Tonight we have Ann Clemens, Frank Cook, Reggie Dunn, Buddy Hardwick, Leslie Stone, and myself, James Reed. Members of the land use staff are Warren Adams, the land use control administrator, Tanya Ingram. All right, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, sir. We had a request to move number 5 through 9 to the beginning of the agenda because they have an event to attend.
Okay. All right. No problem. We'll dispense with the reading of the minutes. Are there any thing needs to be added or subtracted from the minutes of the last meeting? All right. A motion is in order.
Move to approve.
A motion has been made to approve and properly second. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All righty then. Tanya?
All right. Item number 5, Flowers and White Engineering representing D.R. Horton. Requesting final approval of Chase Creek Plat number 1 on the south side of Vaughn Road at Mill Ridge Drive in a PUD. Let me go ahead and direct y'all to page 5A. That shows the entire development as one whole, and it's divided up into 5 separate plats, which are what you're about to hear. Go ahead, KJ. 5A.
Go ahead.
Keep going, 5A.
All right.
5A.
Okay.
There we go.
Good evening, guys. I'm Kenneth White, Jr. with Flowers and White, representing D.R. Horton. This tract of land, y'all heard probably 6 months ago, it was a PUD rezoning on south side of Vaughn Road between Bell and Vaughn. We're requesting really 5 final plat requests. We're going to break this project into 5 phases. All these plats adhere to the original PUD that was approved through your body and as well as City Council. So, like I said, do we want to ask per plat? Is it per item?
They can take them all at one time, or they can
I
do
just
them
did
separately.
it. Do you have any questions I can entertain? Or
Why don't we look and see if there is anybody here that wants to talk for or against them that's in the and let him take all 5, all of them at once.
Just to be clear, are you going to do phase 1, plat 1, phase 2, plat 2, and on like that?
Yes, sir. We've done the construction plans for plat 1. It's under review at the city, and we plan on building plat 1 and recording plat 1, and then move on to plat 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 in that order.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Does anybody on the Planning Commission have any questions about any of the plats or any of the phases?
I have a question.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
One of the members or one of the residents that live in Billingsley Place, they had a question and they wanted to know, they said that most of the homes are ranging from, in Billingsley Place, range from 1,600 to 2,500 plus square feet. And the proposed homes are going to be about 2,000 square feet. And that will reduce the market value of the homes in Billingsley Place. So they were wondering if the number of homes that you guys are planning to build, if that could be reduced and the square footage could be, increased.
Again, I'm an engineer. I'm not the owner that's constructing the homes, but our PUD has approved with the amount of lots that were proposed, and that's what we plan on performing, because the way the construction numbers are now, and it's just needs some density up there. So we have planned to build the amount of homes the same amount of lots that were approved in the PUD about 6 months ago when it went to planning commission and city council. As for the square footage of the homes, Ms. Stone, I don't recall. I believe that's correct, about upper 2,000, somewhere in there. But again, I'm just an engineer, so I don't do the vertical homes.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any other questions from the members of the board?
Is there going to be a light on Vaughn Road?
Yes, sir. We've already engaged Skipper Consultant for that traffic signalization. That was part of the approval process, if you recall, is to have a signalized intersection across from Mill Ridge.
Okay.
Are there any comments from members of the audience about either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 plats? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Are there any questions or comments? Come forward, please. Give your name, address.
Rhonda Miles, Bell Station. So I know we've already discussed this and we're okay with it, but I was hard of hearing. Are you still doing the buffer zone between Wabash and this plat?
Actually, both east and west, the buffer zone.
Could you please step to the mic, sir?
Speak to the mic, to speak.
No, I'm happy.
Yeah. Yes, she asked about the buffer that we talked about in our neighborhood meetings, and I appreciate y'all's time in this process. I thought it was very productive. We've had several meetings with the owner in the rezoning stage. But yes, if you look on, I think it's Plat 2 and Plat 4 and 5, there'll be buffers on the west side and the east side of the property.
Any other questions? Yes, come forward, please. Come forward,
Come
give your
forward.
name and address.
My name is Jenny Beasley, and my address is 7909 Norris Farms Road. Did we skip the Bell Road?
We haven't gotten to it yet.
Oh, gotcha. Thank you.
All right. If there's no other questions or comments, then we'll just go ahead and take them all then, because they're all the same thing, basically, right?
If y'all so
Yes.
choose.
They're all the same thing.
Just split up into 5 phases.
Right.
Yes.
Come forward, please. Please state your name and address, please.
Carolyn Long, 2129 East Aberdeen Drive, Montgomery. That's in Brighton Estates, which is right off Vaughn Road. I'm a little late to this argument or this discussion, but where is that development going to enter Vaughn Road? What exit will there be?
So I can show you right here. It might be easier to see this. So this is Mill Ridge Court right here. Mill Ridge Street. So we're going to put a signalized intersection that's coming exactly. That's the only entrance into the subdivision. After talking to the neighbors, we didn't want connection points, so the only entrance is a signalized intersection right there across from Mill Ridge.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And we have turn lanes here, and then we have an exit right in, right out here.
Okay,
So and that's the
that's the plan.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You're-
Are there any other questions? Yes.
Rhonda Miles, Bell Station. So Did you keep that you're going to do another turn lane besides the one at the light?
So the traffic study warranted a signalized intersection, and then we're going to do a right turn lane and a left turn lane into the site, and then a right in and right out on the east side towards the MAPCO. Okay.
All right. Since there's no other questions, then we'll just take them off 5 through 9. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve all 5 plats.
Second.
The motion has been made and properly seconded to approve all 5. All those in favor? Those opposed?
We got one.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Now we go back to number 1.
Yes, number 1,
Okay.
Pilgreen and Bostick Engineering representing Lori Collier request to rezone one parcel of land on the west side of Bell Road, approximately 4,000 feet south of Vaughn Road, from an Ag 1 district to a R20T Townhouse district.
Good afternoon. I'm Chris Bostick with Pilgreen and Bostick Engineering. I'm here, as Tanya said, representing the developer. We are requesting rezoning to townhouses with the intent of developing the townhouses into a nice townhouse subdivision. The intent is that it will be attached to Bell Road. It will not connect to Capuano Drive, but of course that will be the city of Montgomery's decision, and we haven't gotten far enough in the process for that to have been decided. And I know one of the biggest issues right now is all of the development in the Bell Road and Vaughn Road area, but it is, and I know that's what many people are here to discuss, but I'd like to start off by saying that the city of Montgomery's lateness in properly developing Bell Road for the new school that's going in and the additional subdivisions that are going in are not the fault of the developer. And just because Bell Road is congested and probably will get more congested before the city finally does something and improves the road, which, speaking to Wesley Cox, the intent is for Bell Road to eventually become a 5-lane road with 2 lanes on either side and a center turn lane. The fact that that hasn't happened yet and there's no date of when that will happen is not the fault of the developer, and turning it down just because of congestion, which seems to be the biggest issue, is not exactly, the fair way to handle this. If there are any other, comments from the audience, I'm sure there will be. I'll be happy to answer them as best I can, or if any of the board members have them, I'll be happy to answer them. But I'd like to, ask everyone to start off with an open mind that the city's failure to maintain the infrastructure is not the fault of individual developers. Thank you.
Chris, did y'all meet with the, did y'all meet with the HOAs and all out in that area in the neighborhoods?
We did indeed. Mr. James Reed was good enough to set that up for us, and we appreciate that.
Okay.
How did that go?
There were lots of questions. I think we'd answered them. I didn't hear too many complaints about the idea that we were proposing in general, but mainly just concerns about Bell Road.
Yeah.
I think everyone agrees that Bell Road should have had something done before now, and especially before the school was put in. So,
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the members? All right.
Now, you did not do a new traffic study, is that correct?
We were told by, well, Tanya can attest to that, we were told by traffic, again, I spoke to Wesley Cox, 2 traffic studies have recently been done. One, of course, was for the improvements to the school, and the other one was for the actual neighborhood up here. And with those 2 traffic studies, they determined they were both came to the same conclusion, and that the size of what we were proposing with another traffic study was not needed. We were
Okay.
insignificant compared to everything else.
Okay, but as best I remember, the site, the light at Bell and Vaughn did get a D from one of the other traffic studies. Is that correct? That it was a.
I don't know about the light. I know the light have to be improved along with the rest of Bell Road, because just in speaking to Wesley Cox, that was one of the issues, was getting better rotation so that, traffic flowed a little better along there.
Okay. All right. So this is sort of, you're pretty much in the city's hands, but there are no plans right now with them to do anything at this point.
Well,
they've got future plans, yes, but nothing on a certain timetable right now, if I'm hearing you correctly.
yes, they have an intent, but they do not yet have a plan or an idea of how they're going to fund it.
All right, thank you.
So basically, what you're saying is, because of the lack of infrastructure, no, it's not your fault, but you're adding to it then, to a degree.
Oh, and we will do our part where, when we go to the city and we build our entrance on Bell Road, I guarantee you there will be a full lane width all the way across. The city will tell us exactly how many, feet wide they need us to expand Bell Road, and our section will be the first one improved, for the future.
Is there anyone from the audience who would like to speak? Yes, come on. And give your name and address first, please.
Rhonda Miles, Bell Station. So, Bell Road, AKA Racetrack of Montgomery. I'm not going to say it's his fault. There's no need to even talk about whose fault it is. Bell Road is an F- according to the traffic study. So we don't need another traffic study to see if it's improved to an F or a D-. It's an F-. I mean, I don't know what else needs to be said. The area cannot handle any more traffic. Now, I know that the guy from Birmingham came and gave a study, and according to similar areas where they're going to build a gas station and a car wash and another store on the corner of Bell and Vaughn, and then all the houses in the cow pasture on Vaughn, and then the school down on Vaughn. I understand that there's a study where he can extrapolate those numbers and apply them to this particular situation and come out with what supposedly would be true facts for that area. And I've lived in Bell Station for 37 years, and my road backs up to Bell Road and Lighthouse Baptist front yard. And I know they've talked about making it a 4-lane forever, and then they made Taylor Road a 4-lane or whatever that is over there, and they kind of put that on hold. Well, they have since built houses with the front yard facing Bell Road. In Bell Station, it's the backyard that faces Bell Road, 13 houses. Well, so you cannot take any land from those people's houses without being in their living room. Well, if you take land on my side, I will literally be on my patio handing out lemonade to drivers, because there's no room to make Bell Road that many lanes. And I mean, the time has come and gone, and it's not, even with eminent domain, there's not enough room to do that. This particular subdivision or townhouses is in a blind curve. I don't see how anybody who lives in Montgomery would allow them to put more traffic on Bell Road. And I just implore you, you know, we did have a meeting, and after the builder left, we had Billingsley, Norris Farms, Fairfield, Brubaker Estates, Brighton, and Bell Station, and we're all opposed to it. The sanctuary at Gateway Baptist was filled, and there was not a single person in there that was for this. Now, there was a realtor who said we need more houses, but again, she does not think it needs to be on Bell Road. So we're all opposed to it. There was nobody in favor of it. And I would just urge you, with the infrastructure the way it is, if at some point they take my backyard and they make Bell Road big enough to handle this, then, you know, I won't be, maybe I'll be dead by then, it won't matter to me. But, you know, until they do that, you just can't, you can't build any more houses, you know. I'll let somebody else talk.
Ma'am, wait, okay, come on, you, yeah. Go ahead while she's coming up. No, you go ahead while you want to comment on her.
I just wanted to comment on, you know, what she said real quick. The only thing about that is whether or not you allowed us to build this, Bell Road is still going to need to be expanded to a 5-lane road. It is still going to be on the Montgomery agenda because the doubling of the size of the school, the new neighborhood that's going in on Vaughn right there, that a lot of those kids are going to be going to that school, that's going to change nothing. As far as the place where we're planning on putting our entrance, the master plan for Capuano already originally intended that to connect to Bell Road, right there. So we changed nothing there except for the fact that we don't plan for it to be a through street, but again, that's up to the city of Montgomery to tell us that. And as far as, you know, waiting until Bell Road is improved, our developer can't do that. They don't own the land. They have an option on the land that's based on being able to get it rezoned and get it developed. And, you know.
Okay.
So, but I just wanted to point those things out, that our site does not have a major impact on Bell Road.
Gotcha. No, could I get this lady first, please, sir, if you don't mind? Because she was, could you please give your name and address, please?
Carolyn Long, 2129 East Aberdeen Drive in Brighton Estates in Montgomery. I've lived there 50 years, and I guarantee you that Vaughn Road was extended and widened, et cetera. When I moved in, it was a 2-lane highway, 2-lane road. There was no traffic light or stoplight. It was not even in the city. Vaughn Road was extended and expanded before the development started to move so far to the east. There is a history of Bell Road and the reasons why it is the way it is. It goes all the way back to the interstate coming through. The people who lived on Bell Road did not want an exit to the interstate at Bell and where the interstate is now. They did not want an exit there. Instead, it was moved down to AUM. And I don't have any problem with any of this. My problem is most of the houses, I would say large percentage of the houses in this area are single-family dwellings on separate lots. They are not townhouses, which are, to me, more dense. You have more people living in less space. So you're not adding to the type of housing that we traditionally have in this area and in the whole Vaughn area, Vaughn, Bell Road, Taylor Road area. I think if you want to add, it ought to be the same type of housing. It would reduce the density, reduce the traffic, and maybe make Bell Road a little better. I don't know that Bell Road will ever be 5 lanes all the way out to the Troy Highway. Based on my experience in Montgomery, they might put in a center lane or something like that, but I don't think it'll be 5 lanes. They lost their chance to do that when they decided not to have the exit there. So anyway, those are my comments. The people of Brighton Estates on the board are not in favor of doing this. for the reasons I have mentioned. It's not the same kind of housing, it's not consistent with the area, and congestion is an issue, but at least changing the type of housing would reduce the issue, would reduce the density and some of the traffic concerns. Thank you
Okay.
very much for your attention.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name's Walter Norris. I live at 4000 Bell Road. I grew up in the house that's adjacent to this 6-acre property that we're discussing. My mother still lives there. She's been there for 70 years. She's on the front row now. My family and I decided to move to the land that we grew up on. And so 19 years ago, I built a house next door to her house, across the street from where my dad was born 100 years ago this past February. And my dad was a dairy farmer, and he farmed the land on both sides of Bell Road all the way to Vaughn Road. And before that, his family farmed it as well. But times change, and we understand that. And in 2004, Perry Hill Road Church of Christ approached us and asked us if we would consider selling some property so they could relocate out east. And it would be win-win. They would get a nice little piece of property out east, and we would get a nice neighbor, basically to protect our left flank. And it didn't hurt that they only met on Sundays and Wednesdays. But a developer approached us at that time saying, we want some land to put some apartments or townhouses. We would have turned them down categorically. We would not have given it a second thought. We would not have wanted that.
Are you, sir, are you in favor of it? Are you not?
Well, I'm not in favor of it. As you're aware, we already have a school on both that are adjacent to us on both sides.
Yeah.
I pick up trash every day of the year, every day, twice a day, and risk life every time I go and pick up a Coke can that's within 2 feet of there. The traffic is terrible, and this was when there was an elementary school next door. Now there's a BTW school that looks like it could house 10,000 students. It's probably only going to be 400 or 500 students, but it's going to pick up traffic. Sometimes it takes us 2 or 3 minutes to get out of our driveway in the school year, and so the traffic is not going to be a good situation. We're just against having something that dense. We're not anti-development.
Right.
We'd be happy if a church built there. We'd be a
Right.
good neighbor if an assisted living facility went in there.
Yeah.
If a residential section went in there that was houses or even garden homes, but not townhomes, not
Gotcha.
apartments.
Gotcha.
My children one day might want to live where my mother lives.
Yeah.
And they don't want townhouses and all the issues that go with it. You wouldn't want it, and we don't want it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. All right. We'll take 2 more. This young lady and the gentleman behind, and we really have to cut it.
Thank
I mean,
you.
we could go on and on, but we really have to cut it. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening. Felicia Williams, 2032 Station Court in the Bell Station subdivision. And I'd like to add just one simple fact for your consideration, please. I'm opposed. And I speak on behalf of the working folks that are coming home in the afternoon headed south on Bell. No matter, it's infrastructure. No matter how many lanes you would be able to add on Bell, traffic signals would be a concern also, or a necessity, because people that are headed south on Bell in the afternoon, and that traffic with all of these new developments and the traffic stacking in all different directions, if you give us a middle turning lane, we're having to play chicken and turn left across all of this incoming traffic that's gonna be stacked there to get home in Bell Station and Norris Farms, I'm speaking for. And that's just one extra consideration that I'd like for you to have in mind when you're deciding on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yes. My name is John Hall. I represent the Norris Farms community, which is the community immediately across Bell Road from the proposed zone changing. Can you lower the screen just a little bit? I just want to point out something. You know, Bell Road, we've heard the infrastructure's already underserved right now. We have a new school that's about to open, and we got some new business on the end of Bell Road and Vaughn that, and another neighborhood that's going to come up with 400 homes on the Vaughn Road side. Nevertheless, we already know that it's going to be a very difficult go of it on Bell Road as it is. But if you take that space, if you just look a little bit, I guess it's north, and you see that little section of homes right there at Brighton Estate, it's about the same size as that agricultural zoning that you see right there. Try to put it in perspective. You got 20, maybe 18 single individual homes. He's proposing to put almost 3 times that amount in that space. Already on top of what Bell Road's already going to endure. We haven't even experimented yet because that school hadn't opened yet, those businesses hadn't opened yet. We already got an F report on the traffic report, and we do have narrowing the highways. And Mr. Norris, I want to thank you very much. I remember my kids, we picked blackberries on this farm. My youngest is 22. So for that reason, I think this area deserves green space for now. If it does change, I would certainly not be against a community going in this area, but I do think if it stays agriculture, the likelihood of a church, the high school having space, green spaces to for athletics or whatever may occur, I just think you're putting a brown something in a square hole or vice versa in that space. So at this particular point in time, I would politely ask that the zoning remain agricultural until a future date. And thank you for your time.
All right. All right. I was wrong. I'll take one more. The young lady that was up here before. One more, and then we'll close it. Well, 2 more. Come on. You come on.
Well, I'm grandmother.
Hey, could you pull the microphone down, please?
I'm grandmother. I'm Virginia Norris. I've lived on Bell Road since 1952. My husband was born there. It was a farm. It has seen growth. We have Brubaker School. We're now fixing to have, I believe, 400 and some odd more students at our new school. We've got Lighthouse School. We've got nursery. We've got churches. We're not opposed to any of them, but we are opposed to a 6-acre area having 52 livable, I don't know whether you'd call them houses or what, because in that proposal, 13 townhouses, so they speak, but she's going to they want to divide the 13 into 4 units each. That's 52 houses on 6 acres of land. Where are the children going to play? How are they going to walk to school? You can't walk down Bell Road. What's going to happen to those people? I'm asking you, please. We're not opposed to progress. We're not opposed to small homes. but we are opposed to 52 units being sold in this small acre of land coming out on one entrance. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. We appreciate it. Last person right here. Last person.
You got one more? Okay.
Yes, last person.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Jeanette Tartaglia. I live on Summer Hill of Young Meadows Road. I do not reside right on Bell Road. Thank you for your interest in our area, but right now we have a huge problem for us at Young Meadows Road. Is the residual effect that the development on Bell Road is going to have on Young Meadows Road. This is already a very, very busy road. It connects Vaughn Road to Bell Road. Our neighborhood, it basically cuts through our neighborhood. People speed through there. People have run over on the sidewalks. There's so much traffic right now. At the end of our road towards Bell Road, Vaughn Road, there is a light. That's the only way that we can get out. If we try to get out of Bell Road on school days, it's pretty much impossible because there's no light in there. And we haven't had yet the new school, your development, and I understand what you're saying. Your development, it's not your fault. We understand that. But that's just gonna add to all this traffic. The infrastructure is not there on Bell Road. I don't think, I agree with everybody else that has spoke. It's not gonna be anytime soon. In the meantime, while we're waiting for something to happen, we're talking about the safety, the welfare of the people in these areas. So we in Summer Hill are opposed to that project. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any final comments, Mr. Bostick?
Yes. I completely understand, everyone's concerns. I understand the concerns about the traffic. I understand the concerns about the density. Just to clarify, because once again, it kind of eked towards that thought, these are not apartments. These are individual homes that are basically, share common walls in order, so that people can have a lower maintenance, but certainly not cheap place to live. Our intent is to build very nice townhomes here, and yes, it will increase the density, but also it's something that is lacking in this area for people that want to live here but cannot maintain a full home, and full yard around it. So we're not trying to, ask for anything unreasonable. We're trying to provide something that's not there. And I understand the density does not help with the issues with Bell Road. But again, Bell Road, whether we build or not, is going to be the same problem until it is fixed. The school and the new neighborhood that is over on Vaughn are going to impact this area severely more than, we will even show up. As for the idea of, everyone voting to decide whether they are for or against this development, I don't think that's the right approach that should have been taken. Because when you have an area like this, I don't think anyone wants anything else built. I don't think when the neighborhood on Vaughn Road, anybody stood up and yelled hip hip hooray. I think they would rather it not have,
but I think,
or rather not be built.
But and I'm not speaking for anybody by all means, but I think what they're saying is the infrastructure isn't there right now. And what you're saying is the infrastructure isn't there, but I don't care, let's just add to it, whatever.
Oh, I didn't say we didn't care, but...
Well, maybe you don't care is a bad
It's,
use of my words.
we can't
That's-
make the
that-
city
that's-
fix it any faster.
Yeah, okay. All right. That it?
I mean, you know, I think about all that can be said has been said. You know, our developer who couldn't be here tonight, she saw a need in an area that she thought would benefit the community. Obviously, a lot of people feel that is very much overshadowed by the problems with Bell Road, and I can understand that, and she can understand that. But we still think this would be a positive addition to the community.
Okay, I think most of the people, well, quite a few of the people have said that they're not against progress. You know, I mean, they made that very clear. All right. Is there any more questions from the members?
I have
Yes.
one question. I guess for everyone who's against it, are you guys just against it because it's townhomes or because of the new development? Like, why is, because they're doing like the one we just talked about is doing the exact same thing, but they're in the same area almost, like right off Bell Road, Vaughn Road. So, like, why is this catching so much opposition, I guess, is my question.
Yes. Yes, right here. Yeah. Come on, come up, come up, come up, come up, come up. Come up, come up to the mic. Pull the mic down.
We're concerned about infrastructure, the lack of infrastructure. I think that's been said several times, and the safety issues that's causing. And the other project that you're talking about, I think you could say we kind of tried. We were opposed to that too, but we kind of, it got ahead of us. So that's the thing.
Any other questions from the members? All right. Ma'am?
Carolyn Long, 2129 East Aberdeen
Pull
Drive.
the mic down. Yes.
Carolyn Long, 2129 East Aberdeen Drive. The development that's going in on Vaughn Road will be into a basically 5-lane road, which is different than a 2-lane, and even a 3-lane, considering the amount of traffic that Bell Road is generating. I don't think we are opposed to developing that area, although I'm a green space advocate, but we would like it to be less dense, and we would like it to be single-family homes.
Okay.
I think that's mostly what we are against, is that it's out of character for the neighborhood.
All right, we're going to have to vote on here. Come on, sir. I want to give as many people as...
My name is Jesse Miles.
All right, the last person right here. Yes, go ahead.
My name is Jesse Miles, and I live in Bell Station. The gentleman here, we are not, and we'll say this, I think most people agree with me, we're not opposed to housing, townhouses. We're really not opposed to that. It's been talked about for years, and I've lived in Bell Station almost 40 years, about expanding Bell Road to 4 lanes and maybe a center lane. From what I've been told, the city doesn't have the money, and I don't know if the city's supposed to do this, or the state, or the county, I don't know. That cannot be expanded, and we talked about infrastructure a while ago, and he talked about it. He said it wasn't his fault. That's just true. But how many people can you put on an anthill and they not get stung? Listen, that Bell Road is crazy right now. And if the infrastructure supported him doing this, fine, and I'm not opposed to that. But it doesn't support it. We're talking about trying to come down Bell Road and turn left into Norris Farms. I don't live in Norris Farms. I live in Bell Station, the first one. We can't even hardly get into the neighborhood now. The school is not even running. I know that's not his fault, but now we're adding more. He said the density. We're adding more to it. So, yeah, okay, we got 5 lanes now. Y'all we made Bell Road wider. Come on in here. We welcome you. We're not against progress, people having homes. We're not opposed to that. Right now, it can't be supported, I don't believe. Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right, I guess a motion is in order.
I move to disapprove this project.
And the reason for disapproval is the infrastructure?
Infrastructure, and that I thought Mr. Norris had good ideas about a church or a nursing home or assisted living or something like that, I think is more appropriate for this.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Tanya, the motion has been made to disapprove, and the disapproval is because of the infrastructure, the lack of infrastructure at this time.
Right,
So that's what the disapproval is.
okay.
All right, all those in favor of disapproval, please raise your hand. All those opposed? Okay,
Ms. Clemens, how are you voting?
Oh, I voted with disapproval.
I can't hear you.
she voted with disapproving, she says.
So you were voting for the motion to deny it?
That's correct.
So, okay, I got 5 and 2.
Okay, sir, the motion has been disapproved, your project. And you can check with Tanya. The motion has been denied, disapproved, however you want to say. And you can check with Tanya about your rights thereafter. All right? Any questions?
Nope.
All right, thank you very much.
He's got the
I'm here for the next two.
Oh, you got the next two?
Pilgreen and Bostick
Oh, you just can't
Engineering,
get enough of us, huh?
representing AJ McLemore Development Properties, requesting final approval of McLemore Business Park Plat 1 on the east side of Halcyon Pointe Drive, approximately 700 feet south of Atlanta Highway in a B2 district.
Cannot get enough of us today. Okay, let's try it again.
Okay, once again, I am Chris Bostick with Pilgreen and Bostick Engineering.
Yes.
And this is simply a plating of Lot 1 over on McLemore Business Park, Plat Number 1. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
You want to make it for commercial use, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are there any questions from the members of the Planning Commission? Comments? Are there any questions from members of the audience? All right, motion is in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is made and properly second. All those in favor? Those opposed?
Unanimous.
All righty.
Number 3, Pilgreen and Bostick Engineering requesting final approval of Sabel Steel Plat 1 on the east side of North Court Street across from the east end of Ray Street in the M3 district.
Okay, again, Chris Bostick with Pilgreen and Bostick Engineering. This is another plat. It's, as you said, Sabel Steel, Lot Number 1, which is cutting out 2.81 acres out on North Court Street. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Do you know what it's going to be used for?
Yes, it's going to be used for, I got to get this right. It's actually, I think, for part of the distribution of the metals.
Okay.
It won't actually be a processing plant there. It's going to be distribution, to my
Okay.
understanding.
Are there any questions from the members? Are there any questions, comments from members of the audience? All right, motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is made and second. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
All righty.
Number 4,
Thank you.
Jeffco Engineers and Surveyors representing Bellingrath Properties, requesting final approval of Bellingrath Properties on the southeast corner of Mobile Highway and Coca-Cola Road in the M1 district.
Paul, you're not here? Paul Hodges is supposed to be here to help me. He's the realtor that's putting together the last bit of a deal. This is an acreage at the...
Name, address?
Oh, I'm sorry. Not my first time. Guthrie Jeffcoat, Jeffcoat Engineers and Surveyors, 928 South Hull Street, Montgomery, Alabama. I've been assured that the light industrial use for that property will meet our plat meets the requirements. And he's working on the last bit of a deal right now, but he's got to have assurance of a plat in order for it to go through. Do you happen to know what it is?
I do not. But it would have to comply with the M1 zoning regulations.
I'm sorry, what?
I said it would have to comply with the M1 regulations.
Oh, yeah, we got to go back, we got to come back, well, not to y'all, but to the technical departments with the development plan, so you know we'll never get a permit otherwise. And, hopefully you can approve it as we are. Paul I knew he had another engagement that conflicted, but I thought he was going to be here. Paul Hodges, realtor. But anyhow, I still request your approval, please.
Are there any questions from the members? Comments? Are there any questions and comments from members of the audience? All right, motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Second.
The motion been made and properly second. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's the last one, right, Tanya?
Yes, sir.
All right, meeting adjourned.